New technology is changing the way that our cars work, but the government crash tests that tell if those cars are safe hasn't changed enough, and now there are calls to improve those tests. Consumer investigator Steve Frazier getting answers about those changes.
Auto safety has come a long way since this 1959 Chevy Bel Air was built. Back in 2009, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety conducted a test to highlight safety improvements. With car crashes killing and injuring millions annually, the federal government began conducting crash test ratings. But those government tests haven't kept pace by incorporating existing technology like auto braking into their program. Advocates for highway safety claim the U.S. New Car Assessment Program is easily manipulated by automakers seeking five-star ratings.
Any kind of test, once it becomes established, is ripe for sort of cheating, designing the vehicle to pass the test.
Crash tests and other safety evaluations conducted by the independent Insurance Institute for Highway Safety are seen as a way to fill in the gaps left by the federal tests.
We figure that if the government's doing it, we don't need to do the same things. Let's push manufacturers to do things beyond what the government is requiring them to do.
Advocates for highway and auto safety are now calling on the feds to modernize and enhance their crash tests, find ways to improve pedestrian and bike safety, and create better crash test dummies. Different crash test dummies are designed for different types of crashes, like side crashes or rear crashes.
The big change that they're proposing to do is to upgrade the frontal crash test dummy.
After decades of research, that dummy, known as Thor, the test device for human occupancy restraint, may soon be ready for use.
The dummy is reaching maturity where I think a lot of testing organizations around the world are starting to think maybe we can start using Thor, and that was part of NHTSA's proposal.
Now, before those new federal crash tests are instituted, the criteria has to be written and then the public has to comment on them. All that will take place sometime next year. So in the meantime, the federal crash tests will stay the same. So if you want comprehensive information, you'll have to look elsewhere. For example, like at the Insurance Institute. Working for you, I'm consumer investigator Steve Frazier.